Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Football Fired Up. We're into game week 7, so let's not wait about. We'll have a little look at the fixtures. I'll make my predictions, and I'll give everybody some fantasy Premier League tips. So, do you know what? Away we go. So these are my predictions. So let's start off straight away with Friday night, Wolves versus Crystal Palace. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Crystal Palace, their goals are going to dry up very quick. I think they've been struggling recently. They've also been conceding goals, especially late goals. And so I've put down Wolves 2-0. If you've got Jimenez, it's a very good shout. Uh, Saiss has been a person whose value has gone up. He's gone up to 5.2 million. And you know what? His price could increase, so it might be worth putting him in. I've personally gone for Nelson Semedo. I think eventually he'll deliver, and there's an assist pending most likely. So Jimenez, if you've got him, brilliant shout. And go for either Saiss or Nelson Semedo. If you're looking for a bargain, Kilman could be the option at 4.1 or 4.2 million, but it's not 100% that he'll start. So after that, let's go on to Saturday's fixtures. So here we are, Sheffield United versus Manchester City. I've gone for an away victory here, 2-1. I think Sheffield, they're actually starting to perform quite well. They're quite a solid team, but we've seen it in the past where they've struggled against the big six, and they do concede goals. Unfortunately for them this season, the goals have dried up as well, and they're missing John Fleck a little bit and that little bit of creativity. Manchester City, on the other hand, they've got Kevin De Bruyne back. They're starting to find a bit more rhythm. And even though Sheffield have a tough defense, I'm backing them to score a couple of goals. It might be time to put Kevin De Bruyne into your fantasy Premier League team if you can afford it. If not, the budget signing would be Ferran Torres, who's starting to nick in with a few goals. The next result, now I think this for me is going to be the shock result of the weekend. Burnley 1, Chelsea 0. So Chelsea have just come back from a Champions League fixture. They played Krasnodar, Russian side. It was a tough game in terms of traveling and whatnot. And at 4-0 victory, you'd be hoping some of their players will get going, but I think Burnley, this is the game their season turns around. There's always that one result that gets Sean Dyche back to the basics where his team are really difficult to beat. And it's worth a shout putting in a Burnley defender. There are a few. I think Ben Mee is coming back into the team as well. Chelsea fans, I mean, what can I say? Maybe Werner will score, maybe he won't. But it's a difficult fixture for you guys, especially with Burnley and how they performed last week. So next, Liverpool versus West Ham. This is the fixture where I think there'll be goals galore. I've seen that Mikel Antonio is potentially going to be ruled out. So who's going to get the goals for West Ham? I've personally put in Jared Bowen into my team. He did play up top when Antonio went off, and I just don't think Moyes trusts in Halle to get any goals. He seems like he's lacking confidence. He's not the strong bully of a striker that he was at the start of last season. Um, Liverpool, I think this is Mohamed Salah's game. There's even a chance that some people will triple captain him. I think if you've got Salah in your team, you've got to captain him this week. He was rested to start off with in the Champions League fixture. Jurgen Klopp knows that there's no room to drop points. And this is where Liverpool could get a stranglehold in the Premier League if they get a good result. So Sunday's fixtures, Aston Villa versus Southampton. Southampton create a lot of good chances. If Danny Ings is on form, he'll nick a goal. But I think this is going to be a bit of a drab game. And I'm going for a 0-0 here. Newcastle versus Everton. So I'm going for Newcastle 1, Everton 3. A lot of people have got Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And yeah, I think he's probably going to score. Seeing that Jamal Lascelles is a bit of a injury doubt. And if he isn't playing, being the club captain, you know, it's going to be a massive loss for Newcastle in terms of the organisation. Everton obviously had their first blip last week, but for me, I think 3-1 is a fair result. So Everton is a good shout. Man United versus Arsenal. Arsenal lacking creativity. They've not put Ozil into their squad. And I think a lot of people can see that there's a link between the midfield and the strikers missing at this moment in time. Are Arsenal going to score? It depends. Are they going to play Aubameyang up front? If they play him up front, they obviously lose a bit of that creativity, but he is a goal threat. However, United have just started to hit form. since the Tottenham drubbing. International break has done them fantastic. Their fitness is up. I look at their squad and they've got players they can bring in. They got players they can rest. You saw it midweek. They brought Fernandes on. They brought Rashford on. So therefore they're likely to start. If you've got the cash ready, it's a toss up between Fernandes and Marcus Rashford to put into your team. So yeah, I would definitely look at that. But there is also the potential of a clean sheet. I know Luke Shaw had an own goal last time round. Sorry, against Newcastle, but he is a good shout to put in. He gets a lot of passes, does a lot of headers, and he does bomb up and down a little bit. So that could be a good shout to put into your fantasy squad. And I think he's only valued at 5 million, so a bit of a bargain, really. Spurs versus Brighton. It's a difficult fixture, really, to judge. Spurs are either hot or they're cold. Brighton, however, do play a bit of expansive football. I think if you've got Tariq Lamptey, he could have a field day. Looks like he'll probably get an assist, I reckon, or even a goal. So if you've got him, definitely make sure he's not on the bench. They'll probably concede, but he'll probably get some points and maybe even some bonus points. I don't think I would put any Spurs players as captain though this week. So don't put Son or Kane as captain. They may get a goal or an assist, but they have got depth in their squad. So who knows who'll get the goal? Might be a cheeky one from someone like Lamela popping up, or even a defender like Aurier. But you'll have to wait and see. There's also that problem between Aurier and Doherty. You never really know who's going to start. And then for Monday's fixture, so this is where it gets difficult. Fulham versus West Brom. Neither of the teams will be happy with a point. They really need to pick up 3. So I think they're both going to have to go for it. Scott Parker, I've gone for a Fulham victory, but I think if they don't get a victory this week, they're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. But you know what? Adam Al-Lukman is there. Look at me now. Lukman at me now. He could be the guy that turns the season around. 2-1. Who knows? West Brom have been playing well, but I just feel like they're not going to do well on the road this week. And so I've gone for that Fulham victory. And Scott Parker could use that result as a springboard for the rest of their season. And then the final game of the week, Leeds United versus Leicester City. Leicester have been on their travels. They went to AEK Athens, got a good result. But they've got a bit of depth to their squad, but it's not a great amount of depth. It's difficult. I think a lot of people were very happy with Bamford, but I think Bamford would struggle against Leicester defenders. But the one thing Leeds do have is a lot of pace with Rodrigo. And I think Leicester, with the way they attack, they will leave space in behind. So Rodrigo is the shout for me. Do put him in. And even potentially Meslier as the goalkeeper. He may keep a clean sheet. It's going to be a balancing act for Leicester. So let's see how they get on. And potentially they will do okay. But at the same time, they may struggle against Leeds with their high press and just a fast-paced game. But I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I've given you my tips for the week as well. And if you've got Mo Salah, make sure you have him as captain. Otherwise, you're going to regret it. The one final thing, so for Liverpool fans, you're not going to like me saying this. The defense is having a bit of a problem at the moment. So if you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and you've not taken him out, you're probably going to start losing value. He's not keeping a clean sheet. So even if he gets an assist or sometimes a goal, he's not really going to get many points. The better option right now, there's a lot of right backs, so someone like a Tariq Lamptey for Brighton, and you free up that 3 million cash and maybe invest in a Kevin De Bruyne. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care. Peace.